Very good morning friends, and in this video we are going to discuss about the trigonometric equations and how to solve the trigonometric equations, because the trigonometric equations are the equations which have the angles as the variables and we have to find out the angles. So you have discussed our graphical things. We have discussed about the graphical nature of the trigonometric functions, and if you haven't, then you can watch our videos where it says that how to plot the graph of the things, and then we will be using those ideas and that will be quite helpful. So the first thing I am going to solve, that if you see this equation, this graph, actually this graph goes like this. So this is like that. Wherever this is sine x, y equal to sine x graph. So now this one, wherever the graph is touching the x-axis, that is 0. So it means sine x equal to 0. Sine x equal to 0 wherever these values are there. And what are these values? This is 0, this is pi, this is 2 pi, and this is minus pi. So we say that if sine x equal to 0, then x is equal to n pi, and where n is integer. So n is integer means 0 pi is 0, 1 pi is 0, 2 pi, 3 pi, 4 pi, 5 pi, 6 pi, everywhere where the n is integers, all pi's are 0. Minus 1, minus pi, minus 2 pi, minus 3 pi, minus 4 pi, like that. Same way, if we go for the cosine, then we find where the cosine is 0. So the cosine graph goes like this. These are two primitive nature. Then the cosine graph goes like this. Little shifted, but this is manual mistakes. It should be just symmetric. So if you see the graph, this is y is cos x. Now where cos x is 0, so again here is 0, here it is 0, here it is 0, here it is 0, and these values are pi by 2, 3 pi by 2, minus pi by 2, minus 3 pi by 2. Means the cos function is 0. So when we have cos x equal to 0, we can say x is 2n minus 1 pi by 2, and you can take 2n plus 1 also, n is integer. So if I say plus, so put n as 0, then the two zeros are 0 plus 1 is pi by 2. So that is integer, that is cos pi by 2. When you put n is 1, 2 ones are 1 plus 1, 3 pi by 2, and the 2, 5 pi by 2, like that. So this is the odd number of things. Now if you go for the tan x, then y is tan x, and the tan x is sine x over cos x. And for this to become 0, you have the situation where the numerator is 0 but the denominator is non-zero. Means all the cases where this sine x is 0. Now where is sine x is 0? Sine x is 0 as here. X is equal to n pi. So the solution for the tan x is 0 is also same as x equal to n pi, and where n is the integer. So these are the solution for tan x, sin x, and cos x. Now let me clear the screen, then we'll go for the other special. Okay, so now the special case here is that when we have the situation like sin x equal to sin something, let's say it is sin alpha. When you have sin x equal to sin alpha, how will you solve these kind of equations? In the previous, or you can say just few minutes back, you saw that when we have sin x equal to 0, we found x equal to n pi, and n is integer. When we have cos x is 0, then x is 2n plus 1 pi over 2, and n is integer. When we have tan x is 0, just like sine x is n pi and n is integer. Now in this case, when sine x is not 0 but it is some values which can be expressed in the form of sine. So sine x is sine alpha. How to solve this one? So better we'll do this like sine x minus sine alpha is 0. We know that when you have this kind of situation, there is sine c minus sine d formula. So it goes like this: sine c minus sine d is 2 cos c plus d by 2 into sine c minus d by 2. This is the formula which we have already derived. Otherwise you can watch my previous videos for that. So now here I'll get 2 cos x plus alpha by 2 into sine x minus alpha by 2 is 0. Using this identity we get this result. Now when the product of the two quantities zeros, it means either cos x plus alpha by 2 is 0 or sine x minus alpha by 2 is 0. Now see the condition. When cos x is 0, so when sine this is 0, so when cos is 0, when sine is 0, so we can use these two relations which we have already proved graphically. So when it means that x plus alpha by 2 will be 2n plus 1 pi by 2, and here you have x minus alpha by 2 equal to n pi. So that relation. So now since we are interested in x, so we say that the x plus alpha is 2n plus 1 pi by 4, and here we'll get x minus alpha is 2n pi. These two lines, and now if I just cancel these two, so I'll get x plus alpha equals 2n plus 1 pi. So you'll get x is 2n plus 1 pi minus alpha. Now look at these two terms properly. So 2n plus 1 pi minus alpha means odd multiple of pi, or 2n, because n is integer, so 2 times integer plus 1 is always odd, so odd multiple of pi minus alpha, even multiple of pi plus alpha. So when it is odd, the alpha is negative, when it is even, alpha is positive, and all these are multiple of pi's. So just combining these two, one relation was derived, and that is written as x is n pi plus minus 1 whole to the power n alpha. This is the relation. It means that the x is n pi, so n is 0 pi 1 pi. When it is 1 pi, so this is minus alpha, 2 pi, this will become plus alpha, 3 pi minus alpha, 4 pi plus alpha. So these two together, these two conditions together take this form, and this is how this equation sine x equal to cos alpha is solved. So this is the solution for the trigonometric equation sine x is alpha. Now after cleaning this, I will solve another equation, that is cos x is alpha. So now we are going to solve another form of equation, that is of the form cos x is cos alpha. Now how to do that? The same, cos x minus cos alpha is 0. So if you try to solve this, you'll get 2 sine x plus alpha by 2 into sine alpha minus x by 2 equal to 0. This is the formula for cos C minus cos D. What is, so for your convenience I write cos C minus cos D is 2 sine C plus D by 2 into sine D minus C by 2. This is the formula. And then using that I found 2 sine x plus alpha by 2 now. So it means again it's a multiplication form, either sine x plus alpha by 2 is 0 or sine alpha minus x by 2 is 0. This one, if I take minus common, this will become minus sine x minus alpha by 2 is 0, or you can write sine x minus alpha by 2 is 0. So x plus alpha by 2 is, when sine is 0, what is solution? That is n pi. So x plus alpha is 2n pi, x is 2n pi minus alpha, and here x minus alpha by 2 is m pi. M is also an integer, I can write n also. X minus alpha is 2m pi and x equal to 2m pi plus alpha. So if you combine these two, you get one relation, and that is x is 2n pi plus minus alpha. This is the solution for this graph. This is it. Now let me clear the screen and then I'll solve the identity. Tan x equal tan. Okay, so here we have the equation tan x equal to tan alpha. Then we can write sin x over cos x is sin alpha over cos alpha. So sin x cos alpha equals sin alpha cos x. I just did cross multiplication. Then I write sin x cos alpha minus sin alpha cos x is 0. So this is sin x minus alpha is 0. So x minus alpha is n pi. Therefore x equal to n pi plus alpha. This is the solution for tan alpha, where n is integer. So these are the ordinary cases, and some more cases there that we'll try to make up in the next video. Thank you very much. Just subscribe to our channel and keep growing with us. Have a nice day.